Coming up on this episode of Movies You Want to Watch. Movies You Want to Watch goes one-on-one with a young up-and-coming star whose latest performance in the indie film Room is getting some serious buzz.
It's a very sad movie. It makes my mom cry all the time.
Plus, Movies You Want to Watch hit the Tribeca and Hamptons film festivals to see if we could find a shred of Mean Girl in this leading lady turned producer. Olivia Wilde is seriously steamrolling the competition and making us all look bad, balancing baby in one arm and an indie hit film in the other.
I don't know if I would have been able to play Sarah without being a mother.
Plus, we talked to her male co-stars, Giovanni Ribisi and Mark Feuerstein.
Everybody was wearing like 7 hats.
And that's all coming up right now in this episode of Movies You Want to Watch. Before they hit the theater.
You totally stopped taking the pills, didn't you?
Don't. Fantastic.
Before they win an Oscar.
Everything happened so quickly.
Watch a sneak peek at Hollywood's latest films.
Every day was exciting.
And the talent who stars in them.
I loved the story.
Movies You Want to Watch. With me, Gina Jordan. Saturdays, 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. on VVH TV.
I'm Taylor Schilling.
I'm Hilary Swank.
I'm Jason Sudeikis.
You know you wanna.
You know you wanna.
You know you wanna.
Welcome to this episode of Movies You Want to Watch. I'm your host, Gina Jordan, coming at you from our very own studio in Williamsburg, New York. Now, in this episode, we're going to bring you some cutting-edge entertainment, exclusive celebrity interviews from several world-famous film festivals. The best of the best this season, all before any of these movies even hit the theaters.
Do you remember how Alice wasn't always in Wonderland?
She fell down deep in a hole.
Right, well, I wasn't always in Room.
Now, the first movie you want to watch is Room. The film recently premiered at the Hamptons International Film Festival and stars one of Hollywood's youngest actors. Meet Jacob Tremblay.
Are we in another planet?
Same one, just a different spot.
Room stars Hamptons Film Festival darling Brie Larson and one of the youngest actors in Hollywood, Jacob Tremblay.
Brie Larson, who was one of our 10 to watch about 3 or 4 years ago, and Jacob are pretty much the bulk of the film, and they do such a wonderful job.
We are going to bake a birthday cake.
Room tells the story of Jack, a 5-year-old boy who grows up in a room where he and his mother are being held captive.
Room is just so wonderful. It's very unusual, based on Emma Donohue's best-selling novel.
Movies You Want to Watch caught up with Jacob Tremblay at the Hamptons International Film Festival. The young prodigy plays the leading role Jack in Room.
It's a very sad movie. It makes my mom cry all the time.
Jack escapes the room where he and his mother are being held captive and finds a way to rescue her.
Run, somebody.
You alright? Jack, listen to me. This is our chance.
In 2013, Tremblay appeared in the summer hit The Smurfs 2, where he played Blue Winslow opposite an animated Katy Perry. In 2015, Jacob played Kate Bosworth's foster child in the horror film Before I Wake. In Room, Jacob plays his very first leading role and told us how he got the part.
I first heard it after I did my callback in LA. I flew to Vancouver, and I guess 3 days later I got it.
Jacob admitted he can describe how he felt when he found out he got the part in 2 words.
I was really happy.
Jacob says preparing for the role was demanding. How did you get yourself in mindset for the role?
I thought of my character and what you said. I thought of the movie, and it was my life.
Jacob says his character Jack had to create ways to occupy his time in the horrible room.
He would jump around a lot and play and make stuff and watch TV.
You chose to tell Jack that Room was the whole world, that there was nothing else.
Good morning, lamp. Good morning, plant. Good morning, sink.
I wanted him to feel safe and that it was a great place for him to live.
Surprisingly, Jacob revealed several leading men in Hollywood who he admires are all at least 5 times his age.
There's a couple. Johnny Depp, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Pratt, Harrison Ford.
When I asked Jacob who his dream director is, he said Steven Spielberg. If you could work with any director in the world, who would you choose to work with? Anybody. Want some help? Spielberg, maybe? I don't know.
Oh yeah, Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg must have sparked something in Jacob, who remembered he's working on a project with one of Hollywood's most sought-after directors.
I'm also working with a really cool one right now.
And what's his name? What are you working on?
Colin Trevorrow.
The director of indie hit Safety Not Guaranteed and 2015's biggest blockbuster, Jurassic World. And Jacob made it clear he can only give us the name of the film. He's not allowed to give us any details yet. What's the film?
Book of Henry, but I can't talk about it.
This rising star may have the secret to being able to balance school and an acting career. He doesn't venture online. What's on your iPod right now? Can you tell us some music that you're into?
I don't have an iPod.
And similar to Kristen Wiig, he doesn't do social media.
I don't know what that is.
Room is a movie you want to watch, and it hits theaters November 5th.
I've been in the world 37 hours.
That's us.
I've seen windows and hundreds of cars and birds and grandma and grandpa.
Still to come, Olivia Wilde reveals why she chose to take on her latest role and what it's like to be the other woman in a hit creative duo that's taking Hollywood by storm.
I won't let her get away from me.
And later we talk to her co-stars Giovanni Ribisi and Mark Feuerstein.
Everybody was wearing like 7 hats.
Don't go far. Movies you want to watch. I'll be right back.
Picture perfect. LG Ultra HD TV.
Welcome back to this episode of Movies You Want to Watch. I'm Gina Jordan, coming at you from our studio in Williamsburg, New York. Now, our team recently hit 2 film festivals, Tribeca and the Hamptons International Film Festival, to bring you exclusive coverage from the red carpet premieres of a movie you want to watch, Meadowland, starring Olivia Wilde. Meadowland is an indie passion project between 2 Hollywood heavies, Olivia Wilde and Reed Morano, who were both mothers that came together, sacrificed the big budget, and worked several roles on the film to create a compelling story about life after tragedy.
The film is kind of a spiritual journey of this couple who, at the beginning of the movie, their son goes missing at a highway rest stop, and it doesn't really go where you think it's going to go. It kind of picks up a year later.
Meadowland is Reed Morano's directorial debut. Reed is a rare breed of female DPs who has worked as a cinematographer in several indie hits, including Frozen River. In 2013, Morano took on the role of DP, working alongside Kill Your Darlings director John Krokitos.
And you are?
Allen Ginsberg.
Are you a writer?
No, I'm not.
In 2014, Morano was the DP in the Kristen Wiig, Bill Hader dramedy, The Skeleton Twins.
I say you put on something pretty, we're going out.
Reed was adamant for her directorial debut, she could only trust one DP, herself.
I was also the DP of the film as well, so I think that added, that added role, the two combined created a situation where it was just like I could never leave in order to get the day done.
Reed is clearly passionate about Meadowland, taking on 2 major creative roles in the film, naturally added several unique challenges.
As everyone says, the director never has a free minute, and that really is true. I don't think I really peed once all day long.
Despite limited alone time, Morano says she would do it again.
It was great. I just didn't realize how much I would love it.
Reed, a wife and mother of 2 sons, admitted it was ultimately the tragic premise of the film that kept her motivated throughout the production process. She even cast her own son, Casey, as the child who disappears in Meadowland.
I'm thirsty.
Okay. What do you want, milk or juice?
Milk.
Or a beer?
Meadowland is about a couple whose son goes missing. Yet this film takes a unique spin and reveals how heartbroken parents attempt to live on and deal with life after the unimaginable loss of a child.
There's no answers, and rather than focusing on the investigation, it kind of goes in a completely different direction where you follow how these 2 people start acting really out of character and take some twists and turns, and it's a little surprising.
Morano admitted Meadowland started as a solo passion project that initially presented several obstacles early on.
It was a very difficult movie to sell, but then once we did it, everybody was like, wow, okay, yeah. This is great. We're glad that you did it.
The first-time director took many chances being part of Meadowland, including working alongside first-time screenwriter Chris Rossi.
One of those things where when you take a risk, it pays off, and you're like, okay, thank God we did that. Thank God we were crazy.
She needs help. I think she's gonna figure it out herself.
Rossi admitted teaming up with Reed helped kickstart his Hollywood career.
I wrote it a few years ago, and it came very quickly, probably relative for scripts for about 6 months, and then I did some work on it with Reed.
Meadowland is Rossi's first screenplay that evolved into a feature film.
This has nothing to do with us.
Well, it very well may not. I want to see this fucking guy right now.
Chris said working with the movie's talented cast of characters made him feel like the luckiest man on earth.
It's mind-blowing. This is the fruition. This is what it's all for. This is what all the hard work is for.
Meadowland takes an honest, raw, and painful approach to telling the story about a couple, Sarah and Phil, who are faced with a terrible tragedy, every parent's worst nightmare, losing their only child. The film explores how the couple fights to survive.
Meadowland is about 2 people, played by Luke Wilson and Olivia Wilde, who face sort of every parent's worst nightmare, the mysterious disappearance of their child. But the film is really about the way the 2 of them deal with what's happened. These unimaginable things happen. It's kind of nothing we've never seen before. So yeah, it's about the mystery and the way they deal with it.
Meadowland's writer Rossi may not have children just yet. You have children?
I don't have children yet, my wife and I, but it's coming.
But Chris said that didn't stop him from going deep and exploring the painful subject.
Thank God it wasn't a personal thing, but we're kind of surrounded by stories like these, so I wanted to write something that would maybe generate empathy with people. We're so numb to these kind of things, so maybe a film like this, a story like this can awaken people.
Rossi said he couldn't have written the film without the help of several real-life parents.
That's what's amazing about both Olivia and Reed is that they're both, mothers, and Olivia a relatively new mother, and that's what made them perfect to tell the story.
For Rossi, Meadowland is all about trying to empathize with people who have experienced a terrible tragedy.
It wasn't personal experience, thank God, but it was just about the stuff that we're surrounded by. We see these kind of stories, and it's about me wanting to craft something that people could empathize with.
Rossi says he was beyond thrilled Luke Wilson and Olivia Wilde agreed to star in Meadowland.
Olivia's performance is so soulful and specific. I don't think anyone's ever seen what Luke's done with this.
Rossi told us getting his script to the big screen was a huge collaboration. What was it like to work with Olivia? She seems incredible.
She's incredible. Obviously an actress. She gives an incredibly soulful performance. And she was instrumental in helping bringing this cast together. It's ridiculous. John Leguizamo, Luke Wilson.
Chris said the fate of his screenplay seriously changed when Olivia Wilde agreed to star in and produce the film.
Took on the film, produced it, and she was amazing. Incredible rapport with actors, knowing people, knowing how to get scripts to actors. Terrific.
In person, a few things are apparent about Olivia Wilde. First off, she's a natural beauty. Secondly, it's instantly apparent how dedicated and connected Wilde is to Meadowland.
I think anyone who becomes a parent, their heart expands and you empathize on a different level. And that's what I think was required to tell the story as it should have been told.
Before Wilde took on the lifelong role of mom, she got her start in 2004 playing Dr. Remy Hadley, better known as 13, on the hit ABC drama House.
Will you have sex with me?
In 2010, Wilde got her first big film role when she starred in the Disney blockbuster Tron: Legacy.
I'm Cora!
Wilde is known for playing powerful ladies, and in 2015 she starred as the main villain in the horror movie The Lazarus Effect.
Did I just die?
Meadowland is not Wilde's first time wearing the producer hat. She previously starred and produced in the indie comedy Drinking Buddies alongside Jake Johnson and her real-life hubby, Jason Sudeikis.
Good.
Good?
Yep, all set.
Good or great?
Really great.
Wilde is a new mommy to 1.5-year-old baby Otis. Wilde says being a mother was crucial in accurately portraying Sarah, the heartbroken protagonist of Meadowland.
I don't know if I would have been able to play Sarah without being a mother, and it's actually kind of the gift of motherhood is that you're in touch with different levels of emotion. So, I don't know. I think it's all actually very connected.
Wilde says motherhood gave her a responsibility to tell this story.
Reed and I are both mothers, and I think we had so much respect for my character, Sarah. You know, we each felt she was so brave and so tough, and we felt a responsibility to tell her story well as a fellow mother.
Olivia revealed motherhood also affects which project she takes on in the future, and says she couldn't do it without her hubby, Jason Sudeikis.
I have a wonderful partner who helps me, and I also feel very inspired by my motherhood to make great work because I want to make him proud. I had a mother who was a very hardworking, awesome mom, and I think she inspired me to do the same.
Now, if you aren't convinced Jason and Olivia are a perfect Hollywood couple, Jason told us just how they keep their romance alive. What Valentine's Day, what's it like in your home? Do you do an IOU?
Valentine's Day is the day we take it down a notch because every other day is Valentine's Day.
Wilde said timing is everything in life. Being a new mom around the same time she read Rossi's screenplay essentially motivated Olivia to commit to the film in front and behind the camera.
Meadowland is an extraordinary story, and it's about two people suffering such an insane and mysterious loss and how they recover so differently.
It wasn't just a compelling script that attracted Olivia to the role of Sarah. The opportunity to work with a visionary director, Reed Morano, was too good to refuse.
I loved the script, I loved her, and I just wanted to be a part of it in every way. I wanted to see it through its completion and then in post-production and then through this process. So I was proud to work as hard as I could as a producer.
Olivia, who's used to being in front of the camera, admitted Meadowland was so complex she had to be a part of the entire production process.
Reed Morano is such an incredible new voice and eye, and I just wanted to be a part of her film and then to produce it and help her get it to places like Tribeca.
Wilde says she didn't choose to work with Morano because she's a woman.
We were partners above all else, and I think that, you know, her sex really had nothing to do with it. But I am very proud to have produced a film directed by an extremely talented woman. But, you know, I think she's just the greatest no matter what. That's also a female lead in the film as well, which is it's an unusual film in that way.
Morano says it was more than just pure passion that Olivia invested into a tough role.
I think from the first moment that we met, I realized right off the bat, by the way, the enthusiasm and sort of the need to play Sarah that I felt from Olivia. I just, you know, someone had to love it as much as I did, and I was lucky to find the person who loved it as much as I did.
We weren't joking when we said Reed and Olivia are a hit team in Hollywood. Both fans and industry insiders are eagerly anticipating their next big project together. Olivia, the luckiest girl in Hollywood, is set to star in Vinyl, an original HBO series directed by Martin Scorsese and Mick Jagger.
I am on cloud nine. I feel so lucky, but I feel luckiest because of the people I get to work with.
And if you're wondering what happened to Reed, Olivia told us she's not going anywhere.
You know, it's funny, Reed is actually the DP on that show, so I'm lucky enough that I get to make Meadowland with Reed and then make Vinyl with Reed shooting it.
Wilde is adamant she's not letting Morano out of her creative sight anytime soon.
I won't let her get away from me. She can't run, she can't hide.
In fact, Olivia made it very clear the duo is set to take Hollywood by storm.
You know, when you find a collaborator like Reed, you're inspired. You're inspired to learn from all their experience and to dream up new projects together, and that's what we want to do next.
Still to come, meet the rest of the cast of Meadowland, Giovanni Ribisi and Mark Feuerstein.
We have a very uncomfortable scene which we shot after meeting for 3 seconds on set.
Don't move. Movies You Want to Watch will be right back.
You know you wanna.
Picture Perfect. LG Ultra HD TV.
You know you wanna.
Welcome back to this episode of Movies You Want to Watch. I'm Gina Jordan, and we are in Williamsburg, New York City, continuing to bring you our coverage from the Tribeca and Hamptons International Film Festivals on a movie you want to watch, Meadowland, starring Olivia Wilde.
You would make an excellent mother.
Meadowland takes a raw, painful yet realistic approach as it follows Olivia Wilde, who plays Sarah, and her husband Phil, played by Luke Wilson. The two are struggling to find the will to live on after the mysterious disappearance of their child.
Stop being angry.
I'm not.
You are.
In Meadowland, Mark Feuerstein plays Rob, Phil's best friend.
We have a very uncomfortable scene which we shot after meeting for 3 seconds on set, so it was perfectly natural to do the scene because we hardly knew each other.
Feuerstein got his start in television, where he played big roles in Good Morning Miami and Aaron Sorkin's The West Wing.
This is why good people hate us. This, right here, this thing.
Feuerstein's first big role in film came alongside Mel Gibson in the rom-com What Women Want.
I can hear what women think.
More recently, Feuerstein can be seen in the USA TV series set in the Hamptons, Royal Pains.
Where's Boris? We tried to get in. The door appears to have been locked from the inside.
Side note, Feuerstein has a personal and real connection to the Hamptons.
My parents have a house in Bridgehampton, and we shoot there sometimes. But the rest of the time we're in other parts of Long Island. You know,
of course.
Roslyn, Huntington Gardens.
The set of Meadowland was the exact opposite of the Hamptons. Mark traded in the sandy beaches for the gritty streets of Harlem. Feuerstein joked Meadowland may have been a small-budget film, yet an extremely rewarding experience.
We were shooting in Harlem. There was no money. Juno Temple was screaming at her boyfriend in a great scene while I'm biking to set and can't find the base camp and losing my bike in different locations. It was just one of those movies where everybody rolled up their sleeves, and Reed and Olivia really made this movie happen.
Feuerstein admitted Wilde's dedication and passion to star and produce in Meadowland was infectious.
She's just awesome. And the reason I say that is because not only was she acting in this movie, an incredibly hard, dramatic role, but she was also producing the whole movie with Reed Morano, the director. The director, was directing and holding the camera, so everybody was wearing like 7 hats.
Feuerstein says even though Meadowland is centered around a tragic loss, his character Rob interjects moments of relief to help his friend cope with life.
This movie is not necessarily a laugh riot, but there is humor, lots of humor in it, embedded within a very dramatic story.
Please. She's having a good time.
Yeah.
Just let her spread her wings.
Feuerstein admitted what drew him to the role was how real it felt for him and the personal connection he has to the turmoil in the story.
Without revealing too much and getting too dark, my wife and I had a moment where a child was very sick, and you know, my wife was a vigilant, tenacious, explorer of every option, while I was trying to be more the positive guy, like, hey, the doctors know what they're doing. And there's a place for both. She was truly just amazing in that time.
Meadowland has some lighter moments and takes some surprising twists and turns thanks to actor Giovanni Ribisi.
I play Tim, who is Philip's brother, who is portrayed by Luke Wilson.
Ribisi is one of Hollywood's most versatile character actors, having played a variety of roles in a long career. He started to get recognition for his role in the hit 90s sitcom Friends.
Well, you know it. They're gonna be awake again.
Ribisi's career in film has been long and varied, choosing not to restrict himself to comedy roles. He's appeared as a medic in Saving Private Ryan.
I could use a little more morphine.
Ribisi also played a lovable idiot in A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Oh, well, my job sucks too.
Ribisi portrayed an egotistical genius in Boiler Room alongside Ben Affleck.
Yes, my first account, baby.
And let's not forget, Ribisi portrayed a scheming villain in James Cameron's Avatar.
Look at all that cheddar.
In Meadowland, Ribisi plays Tim, a cop who must help his brother and sister-in-law deal with the loss of their child.
He's more or less a guy who's lost his way, and he's just the antithesis of his brother, who is going through a tragedy, but also this grounded police officer. And he's just sort of experimenting and wandering and drifting. He's more or less nomadic.
Ribisi gave us a little insight on his character. While blood may tie Tim closer to Luke Wilson's character Phil, he's a better companion for Olivia Wilde's character Sarah.
He's also somewhat of an individual or terminal for Olivia Wilde's character, who's Sarah in the film.
Ribisi, who has starred in both blockbuster hits and indie films, told us he approaches each project the same way.
At the end of the day, I think the thing that you're concentrating on when you're making a film, if you're a director or an actor or an editor, really is the process and trying to just, for me, it's just pacing nervously in a hotel room for 90% of the time and then trying to do as good as I can. And so you start, other than certain things like the size of the trailer and, whatever, but they really become secondary or tertiary in the sense that you just want to do a good job.
Naturally, it was the all-star creative team, Reed and Olivia, that attracted Ribisi to Meadowland.
It's beautiful. The cinematography is amazing. Reed Morano, who did the cinematography and directed it. I think, I'm excited about it.
The cast of Meadowland also features a rising star in Hollywood, Ty Simpkins.
The elephant, look, when they die, it's inconceivable.
Ty may only be 14 years old, but the actor has starred in several hit films, including Insidious.
Is there something wrong with Daddy, Mom?
Simpkins went on to serve as Robert Downey Jr.'s assistant in Shane Black's Iron Man 3.
Should make him stealth mode.
You want a stealth mode?
More recently, Ty starred in the highest-grossing movie of 2015, Jurassic World. In Meadowland, Ty portrays Adam, an autistic boy who makes an important impact on Olivia Wilde's character, Sarah.
Adam is a autistic boy who has no one really there for him at all, except for Olivia Wilde's character, Sarah. And he just kind of gets caught in the middle of this.
Simpkins told us he used real-life inspiration to portray Adam.
I have several friends that are autistic, so I just spent a little time with them, and in preparation, I just kind of acted autistic.
Ty said working scenes with Olivia Wilde was, no surprise, memorable.
Oh, it was great. She's really great.
But don't let all the career talk fool you.
I'm just a regular boy, I hang out with friends, I play video games, I read, I watch movies.
What do you read?
I read a lot of graphic novels.
Ty said he's very proud of his performance in the film, and without any bias, agrees Meadowland is a movie you want to watch.
It's a great film. It's very artistic.
Meadowland is currently in theaters and on demand now. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Movies You Want to Watch. Be sure to log on to thewanna.com for everything in entertainment. I'm Gina Jordan. Thank you so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you next time. You know you wanna.
what's actually there.